We love hip hop.
Let's get to this El Plaga case. So, I don't know. I was gonna say salute to El Plaga, but he's currently dealing with an issue, a legal issue. He's on trial right now. There's about 2 more weeks left in the trial, they're saying, for the murder of 2 women in a Fort Erie home. There was a party that went down back in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, in the December time, around these times here. Party was going down, Airbnb rental home or something like that. Bunch of people in the house. El Plaga attended. El Plaga is a Toronto rapper via Scarborough. And he went to the party with a few other of his peoples. And after the party, or at some point in the party, they found 2 women that were dead. 1 woman on a bed and 1 woman on a chair. Okay, gunshot wounds. They said that after everybody left the party and stuff like that, that there was evidence that clued in that said that El Plaga was the trigger man of this. But to be honest, when I go through this trial and all the different times that I've been seeing different clips from the trial, it's still not adding up to me. So I'm going to pull up a couple of the newest news clip, and then maybe we can do a little bit of reverse engineering on this one too, to see if we could find some other previous news clips from this right here. Okay. So, and I see Tristan over there, Tristan Holder in the chat saying the boy's coming home. He might, man. So in this one over here, they're talking about forensic scientist testifies on DNA evidence in Fort Erie double homicide trial. Okay, and RIP to both young ladies. Condolences to their family.
A.W.O.L in court today. The Crown continued its case against 27-year-old Christopher Lucas, accused in the shooting death of 2 young women at a house party in Fort Erie almost 5 years ago. Today, the court heard how Lucas's DNA was found on marijuana joints at the scene. Emily Taylor was in court and has the details.
Good evening. The court heard from a forensic scientist this afternoon who tested several pieces of evidence found at the short-term rental in Fort Erie where the alleged crime took place in 2021. 27-year-old Toronto rapper Christopher Lucas has pled not guilty in the shooting deaths of 18-year-old Christine Crooks and 20-year-old Juliana Panunzio. The 2 friends were killed at a birthday party at the Fort Erie rental in January 2021. Crooks had been invited by Lucas, while Crooks was Panunzio's only connection to the gathering. Today, the court heard about 13 different biology reports conducted on various pieces of evidence found at the crime scene, looking to see if DNA or blood was present. That includes a blood pattern analysis on the front foyer where Christine Crooks' blood was found. The forensic scientist testified that what he believed to be Lucas's DNA was found on several marijuana butts from the scene. In their opening remarks, the Crown had said a key piece of evidence in their case are the marijuana joints found next to the bodies of the 2 young women who were killed. The court has already heard testimony from the Niagara police detectives on the case, as well as from several partygoers. 2 of them, the birthday boy and party host, have pleaded guilty to obstruction in this case. As the Crown expected, none of the people who attended the party said they saw the shooting take place or could identify the shooter. The Crown is expected to wrap up their case in the next couple of weeks before the defense can present their case. The entire trial is expected to last around 9 weeks, and the verdict will be decided by a jury.
So, yeah, so from you can see right there, they're talking about how they found, and I'm putting up a poll right now. I'm asking, will El Plaga beat the case? Because they had some uncooperative witnesses, or not witnesses, but people that were at the party. They said that the one person who held the party was obstructed some of the evidence. He caught a charge, and he was able to not beat the charge, but I think he's home on bail now because of the charge. But what they're saying in this video here about marijuana joints being found on the scene,
of 18-year-old Christine Crooks and 20-year-old Juliana Panunzio.
Yeah, RIP to Juliana Panunzio and Christine Crooks. Let me find a screen save right here. And we were mentioning in other segments when we were talking about this on the podcast, that they found the craziest picture. Not to say that he didn't take the picture, so what the hell? But they used the craziest picture when they're talking about this guy, and then it's Okay, so we found some joints near the scene. That still doesn't add up to me, man. Okay, a lot of stuff, as you can hear, has already been moved around in the scene. The for all we know, the bodies could have been moved around when it comes to this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can find some other news clips over here on this, because this has been a very sordid issue here. Let me see. We'll put in Fort Erie. Homicide. This is the one from the same news clip. 1 second, gang. Fort Erie murders 2 years ago. Fatal shooting. I think that's one of the original news reports. We'll find something on this, because I know that they probably covered this in a couple of other news reports. My bad, gang. I'm usually a little bit more prepared when it comes to these things here, but I kind of did this on the fly today. Let's pull up some Googles. Accused phone silent after. Okay, so this is something from the Niagara Review, Toronto Sun. Let's see what this one says over here. Please don't make me have to freaking get a membership. Fuck off. I'm so not doing that, man. $1 today until May. I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to be able to do it. Sorry, gang. I'm not going to be able to go over on that article right there, because I'm not paying for that site. We'll find something. Okay, accused phone went silent after shooting death at. So yeah, this is just another article probably talking about the phone stuff, and that was also mentioned in other articles as well. Forensic 20 hours ago. Did we watch this? Yeah, we just watched this. Fort Erie Radio. New testimony details phone data, clothing tied to homicide. Okay, so here we go. Phone records. Phone records and seized clothing linked to the accused in the 2021 Niagara Park Way double homicide formed the core. New testimony heard in this week's trial resumed in Superior Court in Welland. The new evidence focused on hours around the shooting and on items that police said were recovered months later. A jury heard the information from a Niagara Regional Police detective and the Crown outlined that the investigators found after the death of 18-year-old Christine Crooks and of Toronto and 20-year-old Juliana Pananzio of Windsor, a short-term rental property in Fort Erie on January 20. Okay, let me find something here. Okay, so Mummery reviewed the extensive telecommunication records and surveillance gathered under the investigation police called Project Parkway. She said Crooks and Lucas exchanged multiple calls in the days before the shooting at the waterfront house. Surveillance outlined for the jury included separate videos of Lucas and Heidi Baller, the Scarborough resident who rented the Niagara Parkway home for the 29th for a 29th birthday party for her friend Trevor Barnett. So these Trevor Barnett, he got charged for like obstruction of justice. And what's her name? This Heidi Beller, she got charged for obstruction of justice as well. Let's see here. And this is just from this week. What's the date on this? Yeah, this is literally from yesterday. So where are we? On Wednesday, Detective Jacob Braun described his role in the same investigation, telling the courts that he posed as the property's clerk at NPR headquarters, NRP headquarters on May 2021, and seized over and overseas items to Baller. According to the review, that steps taken to prompt monitored communication as investigators sought wiretap chatter. Braun said he was also monitoring surveillance taken by a drop van positioned at a Toronto housing complex where Lucas' mother and sister lived. Video collected from a Richmond Hill apartment complex showed that Lucas entered while wearing what appeared to be the same clothing seen in the Fort Erie party. On July 21st, Toronto and Halton police executed a warrant on the Oakdale apartment. Officers seized a Glock handgun, a cell phone, 3 pairs of shoes, and clothing, including a pair of pants, a sweater, and a sweater that matched the item that's seen at the party in the party video. Niagara police had earlier offered a reward of up to $50,000 for information. The amount increased to $100,000 in July of 2021. Around the time of the Oakdale search, Lucas was charged in connection with the homicide in the following month. Okay, so from what they have here, or from what I'm assessing from this here, they have a lot of phone tap records and stuff like that. They had a freaking van parked in front of his mom and his sister's crib, which is crazy. Anytime you guys like wonder if that's actually a real thing that they do when it comes to, like, you see on TV where they have the van and somebody sitting in the back of the van with one of those, like, it looks like a little satellite in their hand and they're like listening. They're like I don't know if they're actually doing it like that with the little satellite thing. Like, I'm sure they have better technology than that, but that shit really happens. Okay? Anytime if you look outside of your house, you start seeing the same van too many times and nobody in the neighborhood is getting anything fixed, electrician van, but ain't no electrical work going on, then they might not be surveilling you, but they're surveilling somebody in the neighborhood. That's a mad thing. What do y'all think, gang? From the evidence that we have here so far, they're saying that the trial should go on for another 3 weeks. So, and this is something that happened in 2021. My bad, I said 2022 in the beginning of the segment. I don't know. Do y'all think that Paul might be able to beat this case? From what I'm seeing over here in the poll, I asked, will El Plaga beat the case? And right now it's saying 50-50. Yeah. And it just changed to 44% yes and 56% no. Listen, if he's innocent, then I hope that he does beat the case. But from the way it's looking right now, I know I did say that they didn't look like they really had much on him, because when they start saying like, okay, well, we found some joints that had your DNA near the body, like, that's not enough for me, bro. But they're gonna choose that. They're gonna use all of the phone taps and all of that type of shit, and they'll try to put everything. They'll throw everything they can to try to sink this nigga. They might even throw lyrics at him and stuff like that, and see like this is he has a history of violence, or what it is, a case study, or what do they call it? Something that they do to build a character. Like to show how the character of the person is. Y'all know what it is, man. Let me know in the comments what I'm talking about right there. Let me see if I can find some of El Plaga's music just to put y'all on. Salute to Plaga.
Play that shit on TNT. Taj Money. Turn me up on the speakers now. I just whipped the chicken, had the kitchen looking wavy.
He was getting a lot of views too.
The projects really raised me, Metro housing, baby. I picked up this trap and told my mom it's for my safety.
Liho, not defamation. It's like character building. Like they're gonna use like his music videos and be like, see the type of stuff that he talks about in his music video. Well, of course he has the inclination to be violent. You know, he's talking about all this drugs and gangster stuff. They'll try to use all of this type of shit against man's them when it comes to stuff, right? So, you know, if man is innocent, they're going to try everything that they can. Character assassination. Thank you. All right? they'll try to assassinate his character through the music as well, because he doesn't have new music. So they're not going to be able to say, oh, these new songs can be used in court. But they'll take the old songs and be like, this is the type of person that we're dealing with. Trust me, it's a wild, it's a nasty system.
You was in the field, shooting shit, let the Navy, sharp live, GG in the air, we smoke your Cody. You started for that dead, you can't be a body.
Right, it's talking about dead ops and I'll smoke your Crody and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, man. Okay, I'll definitely keep you all tuned into what's going on with this. Like I said, there's going to be another, and I don't know if it's another 2 weeks of the case exactly. I think it's just another 2 weeks of the Crown's testimony, and then the defense is going to be able to give their response. So we might not be able to find out what the status of El Plaga's case is or his freedom until January, maybe February. Okay. But I'll definitely keep you guys posted if like something else like big happens in this case. All right. Nothing small like this anymore. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.